to hello. Welcome, everybody. How you doing? Today is July 28 in the year 2023. Are you a boy or a girl? Are you a child or are you an adult? What the hell are you? Do you need big pharma and big medical to tell you what you are? Are you unable to determine your own sex? Your own gender? Well, there's some amongst us that feel that way. You know what I mean? Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the program. Welcome to the program. How you doing, everybody? Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Spirit Child is here. David Brown, Clayton Bergese, Zoot Cooter Champ, Snake. What's up, everybody? How you doing, man? So, happy Friday to you. We made it, and let me make sure everything is moving here. Everything is moving. I hate talking to myself. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I think I'm live and I'm talking to myself, and I forgot to hit the right buttons. But everything is live right now. I believe we are. Let's just confirm. You know, I do know what you mean, Conti. Hey, so I want to. There's a couple of interesting stories. The Hunter Biden story is developing a little more. The press secretary is saying that if Hunter Biden, the son of Joe Biden, president, is found guilty of all the dirty little crimes that he committed, will the father pardon the son? And the press secretary says, no. Justice for one and justice for all. So they're basically hedging their bets, saying that Hunter Biden is not going to be convicted of anything. So go along those lines. That's fairly interesting. Vivek Ramaswamy had a lot to say about January 6th, that the censorship leading up to it is what caused it to explode. So we'll look at Vivek. Great statements coming from that guy. I love him. We'll look at the markets at 9:30. Markets were way up yesterday and then came crashing down. And now it looks like we're going to go back up. Markets are, futures are relatively up. The NASDAQ futures are up a whole percentage point at this point. Dow Jones Industrial Average up 154 futures. And S&P 500 futures up 28. And I want to talk about this fascinating young person who, at 14 years old, she was a normal teenager in America and thought to herself one day that maybe I might be a boy. Just a regular, 14-year-old girl going through puberty, not knowing what the hell's going on in the world. Tensions are high. She doesn't feel right. That's pretty normal. That is pretty normal for kids to not feel right at that age. And so she transitioned. Slowly but surely, they chopped off her breasts. They, injected her with testosterone, made her bones bigger. And so she finally had a moment of clarity at age 19 and went in front of the House committee and, basically testified about the horrors and the threats that she received from big medical. You either do this, they told her mother and father, what would you rather have, a transitioned girl to a boy or a dead daughter? They threatened, they basically, the advice the medical profession gave the family was that if you don't do this process that we have developed to change a boy into a girl and a girl into a boy, that your child there is going to die. So this is heavy. It's heavy. and again, this doesn't apply to anyone that's over 18 years old. If you're over 18 years old and you want to inject yourself with all kinds of crap, testosterone and estrogen, and you want to chop off your breasts and your testicles and rearrange your vagina, go right ahead. Go right ahead. I will hand you the blade. I will help you. I will help you do it. I will say, you want to cut off your breasts? Here's the knife. You can do it yourself. You don't need big pharma. You want to chop off your penis? Go ahead. I'm not going to hold it, but maybe I'll lay the knife. I'll do this for you if you want. If it's too painful, you hold it and I'll go and we'll guillotine the penis, right? If you're over 18, that's fair game. But if you're a child, if you're a fucking 12-year-old or 14-year-old or 11-year-old, and some jerk-off in Big Pharma is telling you that you have to transition, that this is all the new science, then I got a big problem with that. I think that is beyond child abuse. It's fucking way past child abuse. It's way past an abusive parent. These people are chopping off your shit and injecting you with other shit. So we'll look at this. The girl's testimony was really good. So we'll listen to her spell it out in her own words. Come on, man. Keep going up. Go up. What the fuck, man? Up, up, up. I gotta relax on the markets. I gotta take a break. I gotta take a break because the up and down really, it's just brutal. It's a brutal up and down. But there she is, and she is a she. She's very feminine. They injected her with all kinds of shit. So in her own testimony, her bones are a little bigger. Her nose is a little bigger. Her Adam's apple. Her voice is a little deeper. So anyway, Marcus Conte is my website, and video philosopher. How about that? Right, like Socrates. Remember, I bet if Socrates were alive today, the great Greek philosopher were alive today, he would have a YouTube channel. So we're doing the modern philosophy right here, educational as well. Every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Monday through Friday, right here on YouTube, live in front of a live studio audience. These are real people over here participating, not just, they're not fake bots. Everybody here is real, including myself, right? I'm not animation, mate. I'm a real human being sitting in a real chair and talking into a real microphone. I had no AI here, bro. No AI here. I'm the real shit. So I got a website, and it's marcusconte.com. If we ever go down here on YouTube, come over here and find us, and I'll tell you where we are. That happens sometimes. So let's start here. Planet of the Apes out there in New York, right? Now, look at the headline. New York City cabbie, 60, viciously beaten by 5 brutes on busy street. Now, what color? I'll give you one guess. What color do you think the 5 fucking animals that attacked a cab driver in broad daylight, what color do you think they were? How much do you think they weighed? And what color were they? They were all fat black women. At least 3 of them were, and the other 2 were black men. But why doesn't the headline say cabbie viciously beaten by 5 fucking black super predators that have lost their sense of right and wrong? All right, I'll give myself a round of applause. Because that's really what's happening, right? There's this kind of lawlessness, blind eye going on. They're black. They're reparations. They were slaves. Give them a break. What? They're beating people up and burning people and fucking attacking people. Got to stop that shit. So here's the video. And a nice, mild-mannered cab driver, probably some Pakistani guy. Watch this. Right? And here they go. Here they go. Gang beating. 3 women beating the shit out of the guy. Grabbing his wallet when it hit the ground. What the fuck? What could the guy possibly have done to deserve getting gang beaten like this? The pedicab driver going by, checking it out. That's New York. Hey, oh shit, look, yeah, fucking. See this is like two of them got jailed, but come on, man, you got to stop this shit. Right? Yeah, that's what I say. Right? Call it what it is. So here's the black press secretary. She could say whatever she wants because she's young and black. Right? So White House. I'm on a black rant right now. I'm not racist, by the way. I'm calling it as I see it. I watch videos over and over again, and I see blacks robbing, stealing, and beating people up all over the country right now, screaming that you're a racist. You got to stop that. Right? You got to call it what it is. Right? It's misinformation gone wild. You might as well go line up with the trannies and get your breasts chopped off or flatten your fat ass. Something like that. White House forced to vow Hunter Biden won't get pardoned from Dada after first son's sweetheart plea deal falls apart. Let's listen to her say it.
Let me go back to the first question of the briefing. I know you said not a lot's changed since yesterday and that it's a personal matter, but from a presidential perspective, is there any possibility that the president would end up pardoning his son?
No.
The president will not consider pardoning his son. Why? Because they're going to postpone that shit till after the election anyway, and Biden won't be the president. Now, would Joe Biden, on the way out, if he's on the way out, would he push the executive button at 11:59 midnight, right, when he still has executive power, and pardon his son in the last 30 seconds of his presidency? I think he would. I definitely think he would do that and not give a shit about what anybody thinks of him. And if his darling son Hunter is sitting in jail, I don't think he will. I think, again, the story with Hunter Biden is not so much Hunter Biden. It's the cover-up. It's the cover-up of quid pro quo dealings with Ukraine and China. That's the real deal. But there's the press secretary going on record saying, no, we're not going to pardon him. Vivek Ramaswamy says that January 6 riots were almost exclusively caused by not letting people speak their minds. I couldn't agree more with that. I've been saying it on this program for 3 years. Let people speak. If you fail to let people speak, they will burn the fucking place down. That's precisely what Vivek is saying. Let's listen.
January 6th, while appalling on one level, maybe it was not an insurrection.
So let me talk about. I haven't talked about this much in the campaign. I'll be very honest with you. You want to know what caused January 6th? There's such a temptation to say that there's one man whose name is unspeakable. We can't.
No, first of all, it's QAnon. It's QAnon.
It's QAnon. You want to know what caused January 6th?
I do.
Is pervasive censorship in this country in the lead up to January 6th.
Aha. Vivek Ramaswamy is saying that that it's censorship. Censorship? How is that censorship? Because when you shut people up, when you quiet people down, they get angry. And when they're, as Vivek Ramaswamy is going to say, that when they're screaming and you don't let them scream, then they explode.
You tell people in this country they cannot speak.
Right.
That is when they scream.
Right.
You tell people they cannot scream. That is when they tear things down. And so the reality is, we were told that you could not question where the virus came from when we all knew it came from a lab in Wuhan, which now they admit. We were told.
We don't know that for sure, Vivek. We're pretty sure that it came from a lab, but we don't know where. You can't necessarily say Wuhan, because it could have been any lab in the world. I disagree with that summation that the virus originated from Wuhan, China. I never saw any conclusive evidence to prove that. What I saw was that there were a lot of labs out there doing gain of function research, a lot of them, and there's still a lot of them. And it's hard to put your finger on which one did it, really. Right? And even if it was in Wuhan, China, that was our project in part, right? It's like saying, oh yeah, the virus came from Wuhan, China. It was made in China. But what about your iPhone? That's also made in China. Right? We pay for it. Right? Apple is paying for that phone to be made in China. We paid for that research to be done in Wuhan. So we're not innocent. That to say that Wuhan did it is not fair. But anyway, continue.
Told that you could not send a private message to someone on the eve of an election that Hunter Biden's laptop story was actually a true story worth considering before an election. You were systematically suppressed. So think about this. You told you had to be locked down, had to take a vaccine that was mandated and forced down your throat, stay locked down in your home while Antifa and BLM roam and burn the streets of this country. So that's the lead up of 1 full year of telling people you have to shut up, sit down, and do as you're told. And then you tell them, okay, there's an election where you didn't get the information that you needed, such as the Hunter Biden laptop story being real and suppressed. That's what caused January 6th, is a cycle of censorship in this country. And until we look ourselves in the mirror.
Yeah, that's true. People in the chat saying he's a Soros boy. Vivek Ramaswamy, provide some sort of evidence of that. I'd love to see it. Is Vivek Ramaswamy taking money directly or indirectly from the Soros camp? Let me know.
And admit truth on that. We will not move forward as a country. And I think that's the real cause. And we're not, and I'm sorry to say this, Tucker, but I think until we reckon with that reality, I worry that that is the beginning of, it's a friendly parley compared to what's to come, unless we step up and speak truth, restore integrity, and actually lead us to who we are as a people, rather than sweeping the truth under the rug.
Yeah, I give him a round of a hand. Yeah, Vivek Ramaswamy knocking the skin off the ball, saying that it's censorship. I don't think George Soros would agree with that. George Soros would say it's the Republican Party and the Russians. So anyway, so here's this girl, right? A girl. We'll call her a girl. She's come to her senses. Tells Congress her childhood was ruined by gender reassignment. Now, when I was a kid, there was no such thing as gender reassignment. You felt, if you were a male and you felt a little female, you just lived your life feeling a little female. And then when you were a proper adult, which you're supposed to, then you act on your feelings. But today we have the medical profession that has pushed its way into people's families and their childhoods and said, if your child at 14 years old or 12 years old, if your female child feels like a male, well, then you have to do something. And if you don't, that's child abuse. If you don't transition your child, because we have evidence that proves that the male child is trapped inside of a female body and has to get out. That's what they're telling you, right? So this girl at 14 years old, transitioned to a boy. You're going to hear her in her own words. And she got the surgeries, the gender reassignment. She says her childhood was ruined by medical intervention. Let's listen to her in her own words, and then we'll break to the markets.
Detranny. Another way to put that would be, I used to believe that I was born in the wrong body.
You got to read it a little bit. Her diction is she speaks a little fast, so you gotta kind of read along.
Another way to put that would be, I used to believe that I was born in the wrong body. And the adults in my life, whom I trusted, affirmed my belief. And this caused me lifelong, irreversible harm. I speak to you today as a victim of one of the biggest medical scandals in the history of the United States of America.
Wow, she's calling it a medical scandal. You got to love Miss Cole. Loving Miss Cole.
I speak to you in the hope that you will have the courage to bring the scandal to an end and ensure that other vulnerable teenagers, children, and young adults don't go through what I went through. At the age of 12, I began to experience what my medical team would later diagnose as gender dysphoria. I was well into an early puberty, and I was very uncomfortable with the changes that were happening to my body. I was intimidated by male attention, and when I told my parents that I felt like a boy, in retrospect, all I meant was that I hated puberty, that I wanted this newfound sexual attention to go away. that I looked up to my brothers a little bit more than I did to my sisters. I came out as transgender in a letter I sent on the dining room table.
All right, so she comes out transgender. She tells her parents, I don't feel right. I think I might be the opposite sex stuck in this body. All right, so what else is going on today? Let's see. You tell the kid. Oh, that's nice. How did your softball game go?
My parents were immediately concerned. They felt like they needed to get outside help from medical professionals.
Spirit Child says she sounds like Greta. I think she's a little better. At least she's on point, saving kids. The other one, Greta's running around trying to save the planet from humans. Right? We already know humans are corroding the fucking planet, but humans are corroding other humans. In this case, children.
But this proved to be a mistake. It immediately set our entire family down a path of ideologically motivated deceit and coercion.
Wow.
The gender specialist I was taken to see told my parents that I needed to be put on puberty-blocking drugs right away.
Wow.
They asked my parents a simple question. Would you rather have a dead daughter or a living transgender son?
Wow. Wow. Holy shit. Medical profession threatened her family by telling her that the kid was going to die, that she was going to die. You better do this or your child's going to die. Wow, that's good medical advice. Right? That's fucking amazing, right?
The choice was enough for my parents.
Why don't you tell her to get out and get some fresh air and go jump in the pool and take the sun and meditate. Right? Don't tell her chop off her breasts and get injected with testosterone, for fucking Christ's sake.
To let their guard down. And in retrospect, I can't blame them. This was the moment that we all became victims of so-called gender-affirming care. I was fast-tracked onto puberty blockers and then testosterone. The resulting menopausal-like hot flashes made focusing on school impossible. I still get joint pains and weird pops in my back.
Medical intervention, right? They're shooting her up with shit. 14 years old, jacking her up with shit, so she feels more like a man. That's crazy. Crazy times we live in.
But they were far worse when I was on the blockers. A month later, when I was 13, I had my first testosterone injection. It's caused permanent changes to my body.
Yeah.
My voice will forever be deeper, my jawline sharper, my nose longer, my bone structure permanently masculinized, my Adam's apple more prominent, my fertility unknown. I look in the mirror sometimes.
Her fertility unknown, right? If you get injected with testosterone, like a lot of it, your reproductive organs probably shut down if you're a female, right? That's the point of it, right? To shut the ovaries off. Fucking crazy, man. Really, this is beyond barbaric. If you look back in history, there's not much that's equivalent to this. Like transitioning, women. It's just so fucked up. Look, in the Middle East, people condemn genital mutilation for women, right? And I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying that right now, certain parts of Muslim cultures, a very small part in the Middle East, will cut the fucking woman's clitoris so that she can't feel anything, right? And that's barbaric. But isn't it equally or more so barbaric to take a 14-year-old and shoot them up with all kinds of shit and chop off their breasts? Isn't it the same fucking thing or worse? And standing behind big pharma and big medical while you're doing it? Wow.
And I feel like a monster.
Oh,
My jawline sharper, my nose longer, my bone structure permanently masculinized, my Adam's apple more prominent, my fertility unknown.
Mm-hmm.
I look in the mirror sometimes and I feel like a monster.
Wow.
I had a double mastectomy at 15. They tested my amputated breast for cancer. And I was cancer-free, of course. I was perfectly healthy. There was nothing wrong with my still developing body or my breasts, other than that, as an insecure teenage girl, I felt awkward about it. After my breasts were taken away from me, the tissue was incinerated. Before I was able to legally drive, I had a huge part of my future womanhood taken from me. I will never be able to breastfeed.
Nope.
I struggle to look at myself in the mirror at times. I still struggle to this day with sexual dysfunction. And I have massive scars across my chest.
Massive scars across my chest. Massive. Come on, man. What are you doing, man? Go up. Go up, mother effer. I gotta kill this
The
thread.
skin grafts that they took of my nipples are weeping fluid today. And they were grafted into a more masculine positioning, they said. After surgery, my grades in school plummeted.
Poor Chloe Cole.
Everything that I went through did nothing to address my underlying mental health issues that I had. And my doctors, with their theories on gender, thought that all my problems would go away as soon as I was surgically transformed into something that vaguely resembled a boy. Their theories were wrong. The drugs and surgeries changed my body, but they did not and could not change the basic reality that I am and forever will be a female.
That's right.
When my specialist first told my parents that they could have a dead daughter or a live transgender son, I wasn't suicidal. I was a happy child who struggled because she was different. However,
what a tragedy, right? You're telling a happy kid, a normal kid, that you got to do this medical shit. Or it's profoundly wrong. It's so clearly wrong. How come the medical profession doesn't see it? Well, maybe the evidence is in the stock market. Maybe the evidence is in the money surrounding these treatments. Remember, big business doesn't care about your kids. They care about their money, like I do. I care about your kids, but I also care about my money. I'm just looking at the markets. Let's break to the markets, and we'll let Chloe finish it up. Give it a flash click. It looks like the Dow, the NASDAQ is up nicely. NASDAQ is up 151 points at the moment. Where's my list? Where's my list, man? And I'll tell you what's going on in the world. I'll tell you what's going on in the world of money. Yeah, so NASDAQ is up 109. It was down yesterday a little bit. It was way up, and then it came crashing down. Dow Jones Industrial Average, 35.5, up 2.25 right now. Go Dow. It looks like the Dow is going to continue. We're right at the top of the pandemic. We're approaching that. The high was, I think, 36 something. And NASDAQ was 16. So I think we're heading back to the previous highs. S&P 500 up 34. Meme stocks, Rivian up another $1 today to 26.92, up 3%. Tilray, the meme stocks up. Tilray up 8 cents. That's big. That's a 4% bump. And not really a meme stock, but I'll call it a meme stock anyway. TQQQ, that tracks the NASDAQ, up 3.5%. Big. So let's look at the big board. Google is up, all green. Everything is green except Bitcoin. And Lockheed Martin, getting a little trashed. Everything else on my watch list is green. 100%. Well, 95% green. Google up $2, another $2 to 132, continuing, holding from the bump up and continuing. Apple up 196, Amazon up 209, Facebook up 4, Microsoft up 3.5, Nvidia up 7.5, Tesla up 3.5. Go. Man. That shit is going up, man. Everything's going up. So markets are clearly in a expanding upward, right? Kick it, Chloe.
16 after my surgery, I did become suicidal. I'm doing better now. My parents almost got the dead daughter promised to them by my doctors. My doctors had almost created the very nightmare they said they were trying to avoid.
Yep.
So what message do I want to bring to American teenagers and their families? I didn't need to be lied to. I needed compassion. I needed to be loved. I needed to be given therapy.
You mean someone needed to listen to what the kid was saying and be still? That's part of I guess raising children is listen to them. That's what you do. Don't do anything but listen to the fucking kid.
Help me work through my issues, not affirm to my delusion that by transforming into a boy, it would solve all my problems. We need to stop telling 12-year-olds that they were born wrong,
Yeah.
that they are right to reject their own bodies and feel uncomfortable with their own skin. We need to stop telling children that puberty is an option, that they can choose what kind of puberty they will go through, just so they can choose what clothes to wear or what music to listen to. Puberty is a rite of passage to adulthood.
Doesn't it, when you listen to it, doesn't it just sound like common sense? How is the medical profession so off on this one? How come they can't see it? How come they feel like they can go into a child's life and destroy it like this based on pseudo bullshit momentary science like transgenderism?
Not a disease to be mitigated. Today, I should be at home with my family.
Snake says kid needed mommy and daddy. Absolutely. That's all. Somebody to listen to. Sit at the table and listen to the fucking kid. And stop, a lot of times the problem is the kid, the parents are all messed up. They're transgender. They've removed their testicles and gonads. They're fucking crazy, right? The parents can be crazy and then coerce the kid into being just as crazy or suggesting that their craziness is normal. Right? A lot of times it is like that. The family is fucked up.
Celebrating my 19th birthday. And instead, I'm making a desperate plea to my elected representatives. Learn the lessons from other medical scandals like the opioid crisis. To recognize that...
Other medical scandals? What about the vaccine scandal? That was the opioid crisis. Fuck that. The most recent was the vaccine scandal. They were pushing that shit into everybody. And if you don't take it, you're fired. Fucking nuts. Nuts. Crazy.
Doctors are human too. And sometimes they are wrong. No,
they're wrong most of the time, Chloe. Sorry.
My childhood was ruined.
I agree with 99% of her. She says doctors are wrong. They're right. They're sometimes wrong. No, they're mostly always wrong because their science itself is wrong. It is.
Along with thousands of detransitioners that I know through our networks. This needs to stop.
It
You
does.
alone can stop it. Enough children have already been victimized by this barbaric pseudoscience. Please let me be your final warning. Thank you.
Thank you, Chloe.
My
Oh
name is
my
Chloe
God.
Cole, and I'm a detransitioner.
Thank you, Chloe Cole. Wow, fantastic young woman. I hope she finds it. I hope she finds her stride, and make it. If that happens to you, I guess now that's her cause. That's her calling. Calling card. She should show the world her scars. Become the mutant that they made you into. They turned her into a mutant. They put big X's over her breast and said, no, you're a man. Fucking sick society. So thank you all for joining me. And I'll kill it right here. Thanks everybody in the chat for being here. Snake in the house, David Bros, Justin Valzone, Cass Philly Camden, what's up? Jante Tactre, William R. Hall, Kim Wood, what's up, man? Spirit Child. And everybody else is lurking. Mad Cow Mark is here as well. And everybody else, man. Have a great weekend. Today is Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Take it easy. Be nice to yourself. And I'll see y'all Monday. See you Monday. Peace out.